being rich is having money, and being wealthy is having time. Welcome to online education of Standard 12. The part which we had seen in the previous video, that was the 6 principles we had studied. The principles we had studied were the division of the work, where the work is divided as per the ability, as per the mentality, as per the knowledge, as per the skill of the workers. In the same manner, the authority and responsibility are to be given to them as per their post, knowledge, qualification, experience, etc. The part discipline, where the code of conduct is to be followed. Then unity of command, where only one superior should give order to their subordinates, and that particular superior only must guide them, which we had studied in the 5th principle, that is unity of direction. And the goals, the common goals, the subordination of the individual interest to the general interest. Today we are going to continue that particular part which we had left half. Then the 7th principle after the 6th one, subordination of the individual interest to the general interest, the remuneration of personnel. Remuneration means what? Written against the services provided by the employees. According to this principle, the remuneration to the employees of the company should be suitable. Idle payment of the wages makes stronger relationship between the owner and the employees, as the business get in reward the profit, the businessman, the employees get the salary, the professions get their fees. In that manner, the employees, for what purpose they are working, that is the salary. So by making the idle wage system, it makes the stronger relationship between the owner and the employees. All the employees do not work with the same efficiency in a unit. There are some efficient employees who are giving more production and doing more work. They should be compensated against their efficiency. By doing this, the workers' turnover rate decreases. The workers' turnover rate, it means that the laborers or the workers, they do not leave their job. That means the workers' turnover, at rate it decreases. The promotional schemes like bonus, profit sharing, representation in managerial community should be implemented for those skilled workers where the morale of these employees are increased. Then comes the centralization. There must be clarity that to which extent centralization or decentralization should be done to make successful management infrastructure. If powers are not delegated, it is centralization, that there is a head, to him only all are answerable. And the concept of decentralization, where powers are distributed, where powers are divided. To make best use of employees' strength, principle of centralization should be adopted. Centralization has low success ratio in a giant size of unit, hence centralization and decentralization are done as per the size of the unit. That what size of the business is, what is its objective. If it is a small business unit, then the concept of centralization comes. If it is a giant, then the process of decentralization is seen. Then comes the scalar chain. This principle, it emphasizes on creating a chain from top level management to the bottom level. The chain of power from higher administrative officer to the bottom level of the employees should not be broken. That in a chain, okay, powers and responsibilities should be vested as per their respective level. Employees working in a unit should be aware of who is responsible to whom. As a result, the scalar chain occurs, which moves from top to bottom and from bottom to top. The authority and the responsibility are seen here. The person, the head of that department, that particular department, the subordinates who are working in a particular department, they are answerable to that departmental head, and that departmental head is answerable to his superiors. So that chain should not be broken. As in this image, you all can see that A is at the top, BC, DE, then FG. This F and G, F is answerable to D, then G is answerable to E. In that manner, the authorities, as it goes up, even the responsibility is increasing. Then A, while allotting the work, first he will be allotting to B and C, then the further. In that manner, this chain should not be broken. Then the order. The principle emphasizes on two parameters. The order means what? Not that order which the superior is giving to its subordinate. Here the order is what? The order of the arrangement of the raw material and the social arrangements. Each part of raw material should be at its appropriate place. So it becomes easy for the employees to take that raw material or any of the material if it is at proper place. Likewise, skilled employee should also be placed at the right place. The process of recruitment must be done. The arrangement should be done for the recruitment of the suitable employees in the suitable place. That is the order. Then comes equality. All the employees working in the business unit are equal. Employees are a part of the managerial system because human is at the center. Since the employees are human beings, practical approach should be adopted to handle them. Superiors should behave appropriately and uniformly while taking work from them. The feeling they should be kind to their subordinates with whom they are working. Because of their efforts, the business unit can work efficiently. So efforts should be made to establish the equality in the business unit by the informal way instead of legal or traditional way. The traditional way, the rule of thumb, where the employees were having no voice. Here in this method, in the method of equality, all should have the right to speak. They should even listen to the employees because these employees, they work there. Behavior of the employees is based on the faithfulness, attitude, uniformity and justice of them and as well as the management. The 12th principle is stability of tenure of person. Permanent and stable employees are the asset of any business unit. Now why they are the why they are the assets of the business? Because if every year the new employees are appointed, the management has to train them every year. If there is the stability of those employees, then the process of training it does not arises. They become expert in that particular department. An employee can develop himself by remaining to one unit and contributing in the achievement of the goals of the business unit. It becomes easy. He can progress himself in that particular business unit. As the employee remains for the long time in any unit, his knowledge of the system results into more productivity and also decreases the labor turnover rate. There should be an arrangement for promotion, training and for the permanent employees, which unnecessary turnover it reduces. Then comes the initiative, and quality of entrepreneurship is necessary for industrialists. In the same way, there should be quality of initiation in the employees. Industrialists should provide such an atmosphere that the initiation may be encouraged. Due to initiation, strength of the independent working in an employee develops and it increases their leadership quality. This process of thinking out, executing a plan, since it is one of the keenest satisfaction of all the intelligent man to the experience. So this Fayol exhorts managers to sacrifice the personal vanity in order to permit the subordinates or to exercise it. As per the guidance, the employees should be working. Then the principle, that is ascript the crops, that is filling of oneness. Success of an industrial unit lies in a mutual relations of the manager and the employees. Hence, there should be a harmony in both the classes. Manager should generate group feeling among the employees. If all the employees will work together, the achievement of the goals becomes easy. The script they crop means here the feeling of oneness should be there. That all should think that where I am working is my business unit and for myself I am working here for the common goal. So here the Henry Fayol, as he said that above list is not the last list of the management principle. These only 14 principles are not. The business unit can add many principles as per it. The managers can add the new principles based on their experience, based on their researches and knowledge. These principles can be implemented in all kind of activities like business, economic, political and social. Anywhere the concept of management is not only up to that extent where these professors have stated the principles. Many more researchers and experts can add many more principles to the management. Peter F. Drucker, who is well known managerial leader, was also a famous writer, philosopher and an educator. There was a change in the global business arrangement of the business due to globalization. Need of development of new methods of the business management it arised. So the changes what Peter F. Drucker he has favored for more importance of the human asset. He has given more importance for the human efforts For the humans, he has stated that human beings are the asset of the business unit. So Peter F. Drucker, he is considered as the father of the modern management. The main concepts like the management by objective and principles of self-regulations are main. About management by objectives, he says that there should be a uniformity in the aim of employees and managers for the achievement of the aim. Management by the objective is too much effective for different business formatted units. Their contribution lies in the human resources management, marketing management and stress management, which is also known as Patew's study. Here Peter F. Drucker is called the father of modern management. Hope you all have got all the points. Let me recall once again the 14 principles and 6 administrative principles. So, which are the 6 administrative principles? Technical activity, commercial activity, financial activity, safety activity, accounting activity and management activity. Then the principles of Henry Fayol are division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest, remuneration of personnel, centralization, scalar chain, order, equality, stability of personal tenure, initiatives and ascript de crop, that is feeling of oneness. So, this was the 14 principles and the principles of the contribution of Peter F. Drucker. Hope you all have understood everything. You all can judge yourself by answering the following questions. Even if your watch is full of diamonds, the hour is still of 60 minutes. Thank you. Have a great time.